Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting match with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 2 vs 2 from the CompanyHeroes2.org tournament, SNF tournament. There will in fact be some SNF stuff going up here later today on Twitch, where they will be streaming some of the finals. Should hopefully be some exciting stuff. So then, let us move on. The actual fighting. Who shall be fighting in this? We shall be watching S73vo and BradBurning again, fighting for the Russians, for the Soviet Union, taking on the fight for the 10th Guards Mechanized Corps. Opposing them shall be Symbiosis and Gamorr, fighting together for RC, taking on the fight for the Grossdeutschland Panzer Grenadier Division. We are seeing a bit of a nice spread going on here from the Russians initially. Conscripts and companies heading all over the place. The company is more on the far flanks, whereas the conscripts take up more center positions. In the meanwhile, pioneers heading here and there as well for the Germans. In fact, some grenadiers and some MGs out following up there. Russians will initially, of course, be able to take more territory than the Germans due to the fact they don't really need to build any buildings. Germans, on the other hand, do. We are seeing Symbiosis quickly following up with an MG and Gamorr following up with a Grenadier squad. Fuel here quickly falling into the hands of Russians. Company is continuing their rush towards the eastern fuel. So far so good, albeit a bit quiet. Victory point here shall be secured for the motherland. Grenadiers and pioneers trekking across the frozen road, finding bits of old carts turned over. Crates of what might once have been borscht, very impracticably shipped in boxes. But they had nothing else. A bit of barbed wire fields going down here, but immediately comes under fire from the Grenadiers, quickly forcing S73vo to stop his dreams with a barbed wire field covering the entire road, as Grenadiers, with support from pioneers and the MG42, push across there. MG42 taking up position in the house, or watching the fuel and the victory point. Although BradBurning is quick to go for the cutoff point instead. Although, yes, that will in fact work. Just briefly unsure. Pressure going up here. We do see the conscripts moving up. We also looks like, yes, Molotovs are up. Nice in fact to be able to check it here. And there we go. Pioneers, Grenadiers getting caught in the fire. Heinz running straight into the wall, expiring his own life in the most comedic of manners, albeit rather tragically so. Ura going up, running into the barbed wire field they had so laid down and getting caught in it. I imagine they're cursing the combat engineers in the process. More conscripts moving up, pulling slightly away. MG42 quickly turning to the combat engineers, now hiding beneath wooden carts, getting threats in the process though, but getting pinned as Fedorov go down. And we are seeing a nice push up here, the sender by BradBurning, really pushing back the Germans initially. Very nice job, and again cutting off the fuel over there so far initially. Very good play by the Russians. Advancing up here, I would definitely suggest at least perhaps, getting up some T-35 mines here and there, to make it more difficult. In fact, the T-35 mine around here could be quite useful in making things miserable for the fascists. Though, of course, that is my suggestion. We are seeing BradBurning quickly going for the support weapon Compania. The conscripts moving out from, again, getting stuck in the barbed wire field. The company is sort of looking, it wasn't us, no, it was, the fascists, yes, and counter-revolutionaries. Glory to the Soviet Union. Now run, Vasily. Grenadiers here equipped with the MG42, definitely increasing the firepower of Gamorr's Grenadiers. More barbed wire fields going down here. That's always a good thing to sort of slow down the movements of opponents' movements. Always lovely, always good. If you then got something to back it up with. Sniper here getting some of the conscripts. The Grenadiers definitely going to make it a lot harder, though we do see a Molotov attempted right here. But losses will be heavy. In this case, the Grenadiers dodge it still. I would like to see some mines going down right here from S73vo to blow up some fascists in their approach. Or for that matter, wreck some vehicles. But there we go, another huge field of barbed wire. Germans are currently holding the right-hand side of the map. BradBurning, though, has been pushing very nicely up the center, though, although it looks like they might slowly lose that. As we see a returning counterattack going in from Gamorr and Symbiosis with a sniper MG. Lots of MGs, in fact, which is good. as the German fighting of the infantry squad was centered around their MG, previously the MG34, but now the MG42. Grenadier squads, Panzer Grenadier squads were centered around it, though the difference was Panzer Grenadier squads would have been allotted 2 MGs per squad, Grenadiers only 1. Unless they somehow got lucky and picked up another. The Molotov going off here against the MG42 inside the house. Russians initially have a easier time clearing out Germans from buildings than Germans have from clearing Russians out from buildings. Of course, some things the Russians can take slight advantage of initially. Now again, they should not completely ignore buildings on the other hand. But Grenadiers here having made with way through again, there's nothing really stopping barbed wire fields merely slow down the opponent again. A mine, I think, would have been more helpful for S73vo. Germans pushing up there. Looks like S73vo has gone for the Special Rifle Command, getting himself a light scout car, provided by the Americans via Lend-Lease. They provided quite a bit of equipment for the Russians, in particular in terms of transportation. We're talking a lot of trains, aircraft, mostly trains though, lots of trains, lots of trucks, half-tracks, scout cars, the such. Conscripts out here forcing away, well, moving up as the communists move away. BradBurning with a nice force, and he's got an awful lot of mortars. Looks like BradBurning is turning into already setting up a small mortar battery to bombard the Germans. And meanwhile, we do see a Pack 40 coming out for Symbiosis, already expecting something vehicular. In this case, figuring correctly, as we do see S73vo moving forward, the scout car with the fun combination of some flamethrower engineers in it, except it gets stuck, which is less good. Pioneers on the far west flank going to get run off by some conscripts. So far the fighting is larger for the Russians, focusing on the centre and the west, ignoring the east. Of course the Germans are rather trying to push from the east then towards the west. Half-track out for Symbiosis. Could be regular, could be attempted to upgrade mit die Flammenwerfer. Combat engineers getting absolutely gunned down. Another mortar up there to support the advance right here. And try and bomb out the fascists. Scout in a bit of trouble though. MG42 up here. Gamorr fortifying several positions to make it harder for the Russians to advance towards vital points. Grenadiers though holding up quite nicely here. Although we do see one mortar round clearly taking out 2 of the Grenadiers, quickly forcing them away. Snipers up for S73vo as well. No elite infantry. I might have liked to see at least, say, a penal battalion squad. Well, a penal squad with the satchel charges and SVT-40 semi-automatic rifles, but apparently not. Snipers pulling back a bit, and there we go. Engineers sniped. German sniper moving up, playing a bit cautiously here. Symbiosis. Very close to getting hit by the mortar. And there we go. Scout car pushing in. Might try and get that sniper with the 50 caliber or the flamethrower. Although we do see a heroic grenadier. Panzerfausting. And oh, that Panzerfaust apparently did balls all. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. But unfortunately, meanwhile, we do see a flamethrower half-track out from the Germans, just lighting conscripts and combat engineers on fire, turning them into torches. And there we go. 6 conscripts gone in an instant, turn into cinders. We are seeing a T-34, though quickly being rushed out here by BradBurning. 9 minutes into the game. Before that, in fact, it was in production, so that should definitely give the Russians a bit of an advantage early on if they do know how to utilize it. Again, you do see some Russians playing a bit more cautiously with the T-34. And there we go, Grenadiers advancing up, trying to get their mortar, forcing away the mortar with the might of their MG42, although they are going to be caught a bit out in the open here with conscripts behind. Heavy cover, there we go. Fritz bites the dust, although as he finds his life expiring, at least he's somewhat warm. Rifle grenade goes off there, fails to actually connect with anything. Scout car moving in to hit the Grenadiers in the flank. Flame for half-track pulling back. Missing a rather dense support position up here in the north with an MG42 covering another MG42 in the mortar and the pack. So clearly they are setting up a strong point in the centre. Scout car advances going for the victory point. Minor stuff going on. Looks like, oh, the MG42 was pushed out there. Very nicely there by the Russians. Will be able to seize the MG42. Will the Grenadiers make it? The Grenadiers are already rather frozen stiff. And there we go. Flamethrower. Half-tack pushing in. Might get the snipers. Might get the snipers. T-34 though rolling to the rescue. Let's go look at Gamorr. Oh dear, the snipers went down, but there we go. T-34 has the half-tack in its sights. And there we go. Half-tack goes down in flames. Nasty stuff. We do see the support armor core going up. Could see some armor out on that. We are in fact seeing a Sturmgeschütz rolling out for Gamorr. More infantry rushing in to follow up on the advances of it. T-34, BradBurning, I think really should consider quickly pushing it over here to support the right-hand side. I mean, he could really do some damage to the Grenadiers, force them away, and thus fortify this. And again, I would really, really love to see them using some mines. Lots of mortar rounds being exchanged. Symbiosis as Panzer Grenadiers, though, pushing forwards. Tearing through several conscripts, sending them running away. Where's that T-34 now? It's over there. Again, I rather feel like here BradBurning is missing out on some opportunities to really do some damage to the fascists. And there we go, Sturmgeschütz 3. And we're seeing Jäger armor doctrine out as well. With a bit of this and that. But MD on the way for it. And it is quickly pushed away. Nicely done there by the conscripts in the house. Although the Stug might make that a slightly less charming prospect. And again, nice work here on the western flank, which is currently very much unguarded. Again, no mines even. Again, don't forget mines, gentlemen. Stug making the supporting advances. There we go, combat needed down. In fact, that was an entire squad wiped out. Clearly, Gamorr is making a very hard push for the right-hand side to force out the communists, the Bolsheviks, burn them out of their houses. And there we go, in fact, the conscripts end up retreating in the face of this advance. Very nicely done there by Gamorr. T-34 that moves in, tries to get a few fascists again. No, very passive play with the T-34. Very passive play, I'm not really a huge fan of that. And again, it basically missed out on an opportunity to actually really use it for some nasty stuff. Although we might see a Panzer squad go down there for Symbiosis. You'll see a sniper getting caught out in the middle of the ice. Very lucky sniper that. Pack 40 gets off several good hits. And field gun. Oh, why did you do that, BradBurning? Why did you do that? Sending a field gun with no infantry support. Well, afraid to support, I suppose would be the more proper way of saying it. The result is that the field gun is pretty much getting murdered right there. Which is definitely never good. Now the T-34 is also going to get pushed away. We do see a tank destroyer out for S73vo, though not really near where the front lines. Scout car doing a bit of nice work here again, so it's quick to counter-attack and push back the Germans from the west side. Holding that very much. T-34 getting repaired. Stug getting repaired. Field gun getting pushed back. So we might some backbone for the defenses here. Or at least ensure the Russians don't come charging in and ruin the day. Blah. Now we go when you're trying to say several things at the same time. But a bit quiet otherwise. Quite a bit of manpower here being floated by Gamorr. I mean, he could at least consider, you know, laying up some caches if he needs resources of other sorts. Stug soon ready. T-34 likewise. Another field gun up for BradBurning. Only one T-34 again. I mean, as the Russians just getting one T-34 is not necessarily the most effective thing. I mean, you know, remember what Stalin said. This quantity has a quality of its own. That really applies to the T-34. It's rubbish on its own. It's much better when you got several of them. I mean, several T-34s right here would actually devastate the Stug and its supporting infantry if used properly. Although, nope, that's S73vo getting another HV-85, although that's neither a bad idea. And there we go, Soviets counter-attacking here. The position, only one Grenadier squad is on the retreat. Company Pioneers and Grenadiers holding up. Stug providing support. T-34 though and tank destroyers need to push in and support this assault. Mortar rounds going down. Field gun has been pulled back quite far away to provide some support from this angle. Grenadiers making the push. And there we go, Grenadiers walk down to one man. Symbiosis, you must save that man. He is a hero of the Reich. And there we go, actually sending in another T-34. Get the other one in, and there we go, actually nicely flanking the Stug. Wonderful, wonderful. Second T-34 moving in. Come on, just keep hitting. Keep moving, BradBurning. Keep moving. No, don't stand still. Don't stand still, Brad. No, dear. And of course, we also got the field gun flanking that one. That was... oh, poor engagement right there by BradBurning. And T-34 down. S73vo finally arrives as well, but I would really say that was very poorly done by BradBurning. He should have kept on moving. He should have kept getting closer to the rear of the Stug. He should have just kept it there. He could have won this against the Stug. Instead, he again opted to just have the T-34s parked right in front of it, making them easy targets. Again, that rather does demonstrate not quite understanding what sort of tank the T-34 was. So definitely a shame there. Field gun now in the hands of the Germans actually gains Veterans 1. Stug pulling away. Tank destroyer needs to get out of there. Definitely not something like the Stug in that he could also deal with infantry as such. It was more specifically a tank destroyer, meant really only for blowing up tanks. One of the things that indicates that is in fact the complete absence of machine guns. Generally, if something didn't have machine guns, it was not really intended to get anywhere near close to infantry, which also meant it really, for the larger part, unless it was meant to fire from a really huge distance with high explosive shells, was not really meant for dealing with infantry either. So, you know, a fun little thing. Which is also why the Germans tend to stuff as many MGs on everything they could, and particularly on war, because again they rather had to make do with everything, even against infantry, which again necessitated it could help deal with infantry, including defending itself, which meant MGs. Snipers though here, scout car pushing ahead, but the Panzerwrecks simply tear it apart. And the tank destroys way too close to the front again. There's no infantry screening it. I mean, usually when you've got a tank destroyer, you want some infantry in front of it, protecting it, ensuring, you know, you've got some chance to cover it and get it out of there. Not really a good handle there by Stevo. Panzer's getting pushed away. Fighting continues though very intensely for the west side. Two conscript squads, Veterans 2 versus one Grenadier squad. And they've both gone for Jaeger armor besides its silencing. I don't really think that's a good idea. I mean, in particular considering how much infantry Symbiosis has at the moment, he might want to go Jaeger infantry. At least that would be my thought. Right hand side being very lightly held by the Germans, although again, two Grenadier squads with MGs. In fact, we're seeing an awful lot of MGs for all the German Grenadiers, which is good to see. Very good to see, in fact. And again, rather does make them more suitable infantry, even on the offense. Again, some people seem to think, you know, light machine guns, only defense, but again, it just means you're a bit more considerate during your assault. Instead of just running, you leap from cover to position, have one shooting at them, then you get another MG to flank the position, and just pour down lots of bullets into their backsides. But gathering together the armor from another point. Again, so far the Russians are holding most of the map, holding most of the vital positions, but again, there are times when they really are missing out on some opportunity to really do some damage to the Germans. Katyusha apparently has arrived, unloading rockets down the entire flank, clearing out one of the mortars. Conscripts pushing up there, forcing well an MG42. Fuel cache going up for Gamorr. We do see a Panzerwerfer rolling forwards. So clearly Gamorr's not sticking up for the heavy Panzer Corps, and we are seeing in fact Symbiosis calling upon a Sturmpanzer up Thailand to provide some Sturmpanzer 4s. Called the Stupa. Brumbar was actually, I believe, what the Allies called it. The Germans rather called it the Stupa, which is basically just shortening up Sturmpanzer. Just like, you know, for example, the Stug, you know, was not called something silly. That was just the Stug, because again, Stug is just short for Sturmgeschütz. Panzer is making a push up here. Lots of Panzer again, leaving his tank destroyers unguarded again, knowing that Symbiosis will be moving in. Seems a bit odd. Lots of mortar rounds going down there again. The mortar battery, both veterans E2, by the way. That's bad news for any infantry, since veterans E2 means they gained more damage. They do get the tank destroyer. I do think, again, not so good there by Steve-O. Let's go look at him. Advancing once more. Katyusha moving up. Only one tank destroyer. And again, an MG42 right there. And a nice little push up here on the far west flank. We are seeing shock motor up for Steve-O. Getting prepared perhaps to get that heavy assault gun. We also see the Sturmpanzer 4 rolling out. That should be a bit good of fun. And a few shock troops have arrived for Steve-O, who's actually a bit short in infantry at the moment. That's generally never considered a good sign either. Panzerwehrers try to bombard them, though largely fail, only making them wet. Which is bad enough, I suppose. Since it's the winter, you don't really want to get wet. Field gun still holding up here. BradBurning playing a more passive role. Again, considering he has the armor, he really should be trying to, take the fight into the Germans a bit more, supporting his infantry right here. And of course, again, that's a bit the difference in how the Germans and Russians, for example, viewed the armor, for that matter, the Wet Allies and the Axis viewed it. And it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. I'll just kindly explain it. I mean, the point is, for the Germans, generally infantry support the tanks. For the Allies, that means Americans, but also Russians, the tanks support the infantry. That rather meant that the things that should be moving at the front tended to be, either Kate's infantry or armor, with some either then armor or infantry closely following up to clear up trouble. In this case, I mean, he's not really using his tanks to support anything. He's using it defensively. And again, the T-34 is not exactly a defensive weapon. It's an offensive weapon. But again, BradBurning, and again, he could actually be doing quite a bit of damage on the right flank with a T-34 supporting a bit of infantry. But it's not quite happening. It's a huge tactical fumble he's actually committing to here. Again, he's got a bunch of resources right here. 280 manpower, 75 fuel, but it's doing nothing. It's achieving nothing. It's not something, that'll return your investment in dividends unless you actually bloody well use it. It's not a bank. So in that sense, get out there, use it wisely in supporting the infantry. Again, that would also force the Germans to then pull away support assets and everything from the center towards the right-hand side. And again, could also, perhaps allow you to ambush it cleverly, if you so decided. But that's not quite happening. And again, the Russians do need to get a bit more aggressive. One of them needs to get a bit more aggressive. Needs to push the Germans a bit more. And again, rather seems like Steve was taking up the more defensive posture again. It would rather fall to BradBurning, in fact, who's now decided to really add some burning to it with a flamethrower tank, the KV-8. Glorious to see that one in the fight now. Been waiting for someone to use it. Had in fact a replay, then the patch came, and that's rather ruined everything. But there we go, the KV-8, KV-1 tank with a flamethrower and a slightly smaller gun, although they created a dummy gun, so it still looked a bit better, so the Germans, couldn't just immediately spot it out. In this case, KV-8 heavy flamethrower tank, quite vicious against infantry. So again, BradBurning needs to get on the offensive. Steve-O needs to hold up the defensive, and again, he needs to, keep something in front of his tanks. Perhaps a few sandbags in his hull to help the infantry survive, but again, keep something in front of your tank destroyers. Don't leave them on their own. And again, for BradBurning, get pushing. You've got a flamethrower tank, a heavy one, which can also be quickly turned over to shoot up lighter vehicles. You've got a T-34. Get another one, push towards the right-hand side with some infantry, do some damage to the fascists, perhaps even push up here, and then try to flank the fascist positions, again, forcing them to divert forces away from the center. That would be a good strategic and tactical plan, I think. But again, it rather requires, again, that BradBurning actually does something instead of just hanging about drinking vodka, which generally never was the most soundest of strategies. Germans, on the other hand, need to keep the pressure, need to keep the right side clear, although Gamorr seems quite intent on doing that, so that's great. Need to push up here the west, because again, the Russians are largely committing another great mistake of only focusing on the center again. And they're not really diverting a lot of resources, keeping the flanks clear, which is not really helping again, because they're also losing a lot of infantry. So a lot of mistakes right there, which is rather giving the Germans the slow advantage as they creep forwards. And of course the Germans again take the west, take the right, push in, hit the flanks. And currently, I mean, any good flank right here with, say, the Sturmpanzer IV and the Stug, for example, a bit of infantry, could absolutely devastate the Russians because they would have absolutely nothing to cover the flanks. I mean, the right flank would be slightly safer since the tank destroyer on the T-34 and the KV-8 was sort of in support, but the west flank, a west flank push, that would absolutely wreck them because that would initially expose the Katyusha, which would mean no more artillery of any decent sort, and the KV-8 would be much more on its own. So, I mean, that would definitely be some problems right there. And again, west flank push. But again, Russians need to get bloody well mining. There's so many Russians, again, that just keep forgetting to mine. And the mine is a very devastating weapon if used properly. So again, get mining, ladies. Or gentlemen. Though the ladies was to insinuate that you perhaps were failing in some sort of duty. Yes, that didn't quite actually make it sound better, so I'll just shut up on that regard. Either way, we are seeing a good, nice group push going up the right-hand side. Symbiosis leading assault teams to clear out any of the tank destroyers because, again, S73vo keeps failing to defend them, which, again, is not really helping him. More field guns going out from BradBurning. And, again, BradBurning, in fact, splitting out his troops very far. Again, there's a lack of focus going on from BradBurning, a lack of push, a lack of attack. A lack of coordination. We do see S73vo trying to wire off more area, which works out nicely, except in this case he gets caught up in Symbiosis infantry assault. And Gamorr supporting it. Although, there we go, we do see the response from BradBurning. He's going to burn some things with this KV-8 flamethrower tank. Hopefully they will add in the KV-1, sort of. Although basically that's just a more heavily armoured T-34 76, but there we go, fire pouring down upon the Panzer Grenadiers. Just note how quickly the catches are on fire, just really murdering the Panzer Grenadiers. It is an absolutely vicious weapon. A weapon of terror, of fear, of fire. And there we go, Pioneers now getting caught on fire. They realise it's got a bigger flamethrower. And they quickly get the shice out of there. But looks like Gamorr is intent on sending in some Grenadiers there. And then note again, there's very little support buffers. And why is not the T-34 there to provide additional support for the KV-8? Again, not really good, not really good. BradBurning. Coordinate, focus, attack. And there we go, no, Stug actually moving up to flank. KV-8, though, quick to move out of there. Which is good. H-85 though no yet to support. T-34 not really either. Again, BradBurning splitting up his troops too much. And there we go, the Sturmpanzer IV pushing up the center, blowing away some Bolsheviks with this 150mm house. We do see Russian counter-attack going up there with some shock troops. And there we go, actually nice use of smoke right there to actually block the line of sight of the MG9 to get close enough to actually fire off a grenade. So really nicely done there. Would have been able to love to catch that one, but again, nice use of smoke grenades. Shock troops do have smoke grenades. They can be used to block the line of sight of your opponent. They can be used to really mess up any sort of defense or cover your advance, cover your retreat. So again, try to use smoke grenades, and again, I do see a lot of troop players, just bunching up shock troopers and then utterly failing to use one of the most powerful abilities, which again seems quite odd, smoke. But again, if your opponent can't see you, he can't hit you, and if he can't see you and hit you, you can get bloody lot close and then shoot him where you have the advantage. So again, good use there from S73vo. Stug moving in to try and hit it. T-34 still not moving. Come on, BradBurning, you need to get it up there and support your KV-8. Come on, Comrade, or Comrade Stalin will be a bit upset. Grenadiers still getting caught in front of it. The KV-8, which is very close to death. Stug moving up. Oh dear, and we also see the field gun up. And the KV-8 goes out of control. It is a wreck. What a shame, what a shame. Really felt, though, again, that was not quite as well achieved as it could have been by BradBurning. He seems to like tanks, but he doesn't quite seem again to know how to use them, which again is a bit of a sad thing going on with a lot of Russian players at the moment. I mean, again, had that KV-8 had been more aggressively used, and perhaps also been on initially, they could also have done a lot more damage over here. For example, clearing out that MG42 very quickly. And again, tank destroyer very much up at the front now, getting flanked by the field gun, continuing its reign of terror against its previous owners. It's actually time to look at BradBurning. Blizzard really messing things up, going for the victory point over here. Shock troops counter-attacking. And we are seeing an IS-2 on the way for BradBurning, so getting a bit of Soviet heavy armor. And that Stuk is actually out of control, could go down any moment. And now the T-34 is actually getting blasted by the Veteran 2 field gun, increasing its damage considerably. Well, that is, again, not looking quite so good. More Panzerwerfer fire as the blizzard ends. Minor findings regain the west, doing alright there. Lots of blasting towards here. BradBurning again being rather passive, not really achieving much. Sturmpanzer rolling forwards, though without infantry support, which is not really good. And we also see a Tiger tank is rolled out for Symbiosis now. So that's going to help a bit again with the Bolsheviks. Again, sneaking in some infantry, but again, where's the armor support? Wo sind die Unterstützung? Meanwhile, nice counter-attack by Symbiosis Panzer gunners in the west. Again, no real resistance for them. No machine guns, no mines, no nothing. Looks like Vasily is trying to escape the massacre right there. And looks like there's a bit of a recon run going on. We might be seeing some... Yes, indeed, Stuka bombing run. Straight on the Katyusha. Nicely done. Fascist tanks moving up on the west side with the Sturmpanzer. Trying to clear out the MG, but again with that armor support, they're not really going to do much. Indeed, one conscript squad is getting torn apart by the machining Gewehr Grenadier squad, going to move into support with their own MG42, which results in a full retreat right there from the conscripts on the right-hand side. And we're seeing Gamorr now getting Tigers as well, so of course Jägerarm in that sense paying off. IS-2 though arrived, but will he be able to hold things together? And there goes Sturmpanzer 4 taking a direct hit from the IS-2. And there we go, the H-85, oh, what's the field gun? Either way, Sturmpanzer 4 goes down. Will they try to make the move against the Sturmpanzer 4? I mean, the Tiger. No, Tiger pulls back. Conscripts moving in, trying to get off the anti-tank grenade. Panzerwerfer's going in. And we hear another Stuka run going in. Getting an engineer squad. Wiped out. T-34, not really achieving much again. Tiger with a slightly damaged engine. Second Tiger rolling up from the Grossdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division, which actually started out as an infantry division, but was later on upgraded to a full Panzergrenadier Division and then pretty much stayed there. Although it actually detached several battalions later on, served as the Führer's bodyguard units, which were then later on made into first initially fully formed brigades sent to fight in the Ardennes, and then later on fought into full panzer divisions. So, slight fun there. Tiger rolling through the barbed wire. The east seems to be lost. Again, likely due to BradBurning's passiveness, which is, again, not really good. When you're the guy with the tanks, in particular the Soviets, generally tend to want to be on the attack. They don't want to be hanging about enjoying vodka. So that's a bit unfortunate. You also see an ISU-152 out for the Soviets, so they do have a bit of heavy armor out now. Different kind of T-34 likely going to go down any moment now. Close to death. Pack moving up, MG supporting it, mortars. ISU-152 might have wanted to support the IS-2 right here, but they decided against it. Tiger advances on the right side. IS-2 advances up here. Has to be careful sending in without support. And for that matter, ending up for some infantry support. And right there, getting blasted by the pack. Getting blasted by the Panzer Strikes in the other side. And a Tiger in front. Not really good. We do see Incendiary artillery going in. IS-2 seems to be dodging off most of it. Tiger down to half health. Incendiary barrage going on towards the right side. IS-2 pulls back. Might want to focus down the Panzer Grenadiers. Get rid of them and then nasty Panzer Strikes. Close, but there's a guy right there. IS-2 firing. IS-2 152 firing away. Looks like some losses were inflicted on BradBurning. Returning to Gamorr. It's Tiger, Panther on the way. 3 Grenadier squads, all with MG42s, Pioneers, and MG42s Grenadiers running up the center. They're encountering an awful lot of Soviet fire, including several field guns by now. And there we go, getting the 2 field guns too close to each other. Quickly opening up for a quick Stuka strike from the Luftwaffe. Knocking out 2 field guns in one blow. 2 birds with 1 stone, if you will. But 2 stones with 1 bird, I suppose, since the Stuka's the one flying. The Tiger here taking a bit of nasty fire, although the Su-85 is more exposed. 1 Tiger will likely try to focus that down. IS-1 from 2 that continues, and there we go. The Tiger almost down to half health. Russians still holding on to the 2 victory points, but they are in definite trouble. Conscripts moving up for a nice flank with an anti-tank grenade. IS-1 152 pulling back to a safer distance. Tiger gets the kill. And there we go. Tiger is down to half health. There's not really much else there, and the Tiger could try and move forwards. We also see heavy engine damage that should actually open up for these 2 tracks to knock it out. Although Panther arrives, Panzer comes back and moves up. And another blizzard is about to set in. Tiger takes a nasty hit. The Panther, I mean. Yeah. And Panther almost really down to half health. Taking a lot of damage from the Soviet heavy armor. And another Stuka strike with the characteristic Jericho trumpet going off. And there we go. Nice big bomb strike. 250 kilo bomb, I believe. Further Tigers, and now an Elephant tank destroyer has been rolled in. Definitely not good news for the Soviets. It was going slowly pushed back, although they are able to do some heavy damage, but not quite able to follow up on it. Shock troops here pinned down by an MG42. Veterans who took all the way in the middle of the ice, although ISU 152 uses its high range to basically just try and bombard it, which could work out actually. Gets a Panzer Grenadier. Grenadiers holding up here a nice position. Catching a mortar squad and a conscript squad, although of course could risk getting Molotoved out of there. Gets another mortar squad member. And there we go. Anti-tank grenades immobilizing the Tiger, burning out the Grenadiers at the same time. ISU 152 flying away now at the immobilized Tiger, which has suffered, yes, considerably large amounts of damage now, including the tread now blown off. Will the ISU 152 be able to get it? Oh, we got the Grenadier squad inside the house. And I see Heinz lying dead on the under the rooftop. And there we go, Tiger almost down. Tiger almost down. No support from the other heavy German armor. Panther's been pulled away. The Tiger's not going anywhere. And there we go. Tiger reporting it is a combat loss. A bit unfortunate. Loss right there for Gamorr. Although he's still got his Panther, he's still got his Panzerwerfer. And my apologies, of course, for the technical difficulties. Can happen from time to time. They're largely due to more problematic parts of the hard drive, I think. I'll usually also have some very good periods with no issues, so that'll hopefully pass.
Panzer here. Panzerwerfer is ready for action. I will want to hit him now that we have MG42.
Another T-34 from BradBurning, supporting the IS-2. Panzer supporting the advance of the Tiger on the west flank. That's lovely.
You have a rocket target?
Panzerwerfer trying to get out of there, not quite succeeding so swiftly. And Gamorr actually quick to replace any losses Grenadiers with another Grenadier squad with the MG42. Lovely to see such dedication in keeping his troops well armed. And lethal.
Could use some action to keep warm. Blizzard is passing.
More Panzerwerfer. Looks like that is the starting signal for another German assault. There we go. Grenadiers pushing in from Gamorr, Tiger and Elephant providing fire support. No, wait, the Grenadiers pulled back. Minor conscript squad moving up. They're coming under intense fire from the Grenadiers and the Panther. Intense machine gun fire being leveled against the veterans of 3 conscripts. And already there, Petrov goes down, forcing Antonov to lob a Molotov at them. Gets one Grenadier immediately right there. Very nasty stuff. In fact, causing a full retreat of the Grenadier squad, but ultimately the combat pioneers and the Panther. Very unfortunate that. Fighting continues up here. The center ISU 152 very close to getting veterans one. Same for the IS2. Tiger very damaged. SU 85 moving up though again. Very exposed. We do see shock troopers. Oh no, getting it too far ahead. Coming under fire right there from it. And let's go look at Symbiosis. Does not have it upgraded with spotting scopes, which might benefit. But we do see the Tiger has it, although it's been immobilized by a quick move from the... Oh dear, again. Panzer is appearing with Panzer 6. And I do believe we hear the Stuka. Oh, getting a lot of troops of BradBurnings. Devastating blow. IS-2 very close at destruction as well. Shock troopers need to get up close. They need to get up close. They're equipped with submachine guns. Those things need to get up close to work. But too late. The IS-2 is a smoldering wreck of Soviet steel. Tiger, though, disabled. Panther leading the advance as much as it can. Needing repairs again. More rockets. The IS-152, they're still on the field and not really getting repaired. Although he's actually using his conscripts. Though, to be honest, unless it's repairing light vehicles, it's not worth the bother. Just leave it to the combat engineers, since the conscripts repair frightfully slow and not very well. So again, leaving that for light vehicles, use combat engineers for any heavy armor. Again, the conscripts pretty much suck. Another Tiger tank rolling forth in the name of the fatherland. And more fire going in against that Panther. Grenadiers fighting once more. Panther supporting. Following the Grenadiers to lead the way with the Pioneers. Making another move for the central and making a move for the western point again. Very little support. And we do see the MG42 quickly being set up to cover that area. Nicely done there by Symbiosis. A very nice little coup de main. Fresh heavy armor rolls out from Gamorr while the Tiger tank is still taking severe repairs. Still using the conscripts to repair. Note, extremely slow repair rate. Again, better use combat engineers. It's simply not worth the conscript. But since he's using veterans of 3 conscripts, which would definitely better be used against the enemy. And there we go, shock troops simply getting stopped. There's no attempt. There we go, smoke grenade up. And there we go. In fact, let's just briefly show what happens. He simply loses sight of the shock troops for the larger part. At least the one squad is there. The other one probably, of course, is slightly close. But overall, this should mean one of the shock troops at least can move up and do some damage. Lots of tank destroyers up right there from S73vo to support his ISU-152, which is actually getting considerably close to Veteran 2, which would definitely make it a beast. Shock Troopers actually trying to flank. These gents never really got farther. This is supposed to be a bit of a shame getting pinned again. Grenadiers get one kill. Veterans are free, meaning that MG4 is definitely going to be a killer. Grenadiers leading the advance up here. Really nice usage of Gamorr's Grenadiers, to be honest. Tiger and Panther set a bit forward back, although we do see the Panther reaching Veterans 1. Gamorr trying to get away with the field gun, but results in very bloody engagement. BradBurning could perhaps, lend his company needs to try and repair the ISU-152. I mean, really, they should really just pull all resources together to get that thing in tip-top shape. But there we go. Symbiosis pushing in with 2 Tigers now. Panzer Grenadier support, except this one quickly suffers some engine damage again. 2 HV-85 needs to be careful. There we go again. Pantrex, there's little infantry support to support the tank and, of course, to shield his assault guns. It's rather repeated. It's a problem for S73vo. And there we go. Tank destroyer down. ISU-152 left to its own devices. The Veteran 3 conscripts down. Veteran 2 actually reach now for the ISU-152. And that's about it. Just as that happens, of course, the main gun becomes rubbish. And that is good night for the 5th gun. Bit of a shame, Field gun here into a bit of trouble. Shock Troopers getting squished. Field gun getting blasted. And Tigers advancing up the center. So that is pretty much game over. And there we go. A complete loss for the 5th Guards Mechanized. I mean, again, they had a strong start, but then they failed to, utilize it. Again, it's a rather sad mistake with a lot of players. Again, they get a great start, and then they don't quite, how to use it again. There was a failure to simply just mine a lot. They could really benefit from some mines over here, and also when they actually had this bit over here, mines, a few mines there, a few mines here, could have benefited them. Again, the problem, though, is a bit separate. Partly it was sort of how they played together. They were sort of, the feeling that one was trying to be the anvil, the other one was trying to be the hammer, but they were both individually roughish hammers and anvils. Because, again, clearly S73vo was supposed to be the anvil. He was supposed to, be absorbing the damage, but again, he failed to, screen his tank destroyers, allowing repeatedly German infantry to just move out and knock it out. He had nothing to cover them either way. I mean, he didn't even get some machine guns up. No snipers, nothing to cover them, nothing to make it harder for the German infantry to just move out and blast them to bits. That was one failing. Of course, the other one, was simply using conscripts. With combating years, definitely would have been the better choice to repairing the ISU-152. So in that sense, some mistakes there from BradBurning, who was supposed to be the hammer again. Not very good hammering. He was incredibly passive. For starters, again, he should have been the aggressive one with the tanks, but he didn't just. He partly just sat back with his tanks. And again, he didn't. When he didn't finally use them, he didn't use them very well. Often it was, these very clumsy frontal attacks. When he finally, had a chance of really flanking his Strook, he then just proceeded to park. Oh, hold on, Mr. Strook, you can just fire away. I don't mind. Which is not really a very good approach. Again, he had a chance of early on, actually, I think, knocking out a Strook, really denying the Germans some resources there, and then continuing up the advance. And again, there were several times when he just moved in here, blasted away all the Germans, killed a lot of infantry, and they forced, again, a heavy diversion of resources from the center towards there. And again, could also easily delay the Tigers in order to have, more armor to hit them with. But again, it never quite happened. Again, that was incredibly sad to see. So in that sense, I mean, you had a sense they had an idea of unit composition, but partly they didn't quite understand how to then actually set it up and how to use it, which was definitely a problem. From the Germans, again, part of the problem was they both went in the same doctrines rather limited, of course, their overall strategic and tactic capabilities. I mean, one of them probably should have gone either something like Festung Panzer or Festung Support, you know, something, you know, to sort of get some other sort of edge. And also, it would have been nice if this, at least one of them would have made a proper flank again. If one of them had made a proper flank from the sides, I think this game could have been over a lot earlier. Instead, the Germans rather resorted to some rather clumsy frontal attacks, which resulted in a lost Tiger, of course, and some other lost things, which again was perhaps not the best use of German war material. So in that sense, a bit more flanking from the Germans. You know, different doctrines as well would have been nice from the two. Again, that never quite materialized either. But, you know, good uses of Grenadiers by Gamorr. Again, you know, really nice usage of it. Nice usage of supporting their troops. You know, forming some assault groups. I mean, Gamorr, again, rather displayed some nice skills. Symbiosis definitely also had some nice skill in his supporting his infantry with arm and vice versa. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a bit. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and of course, you know, feel free to subscribe and such.